Hello and welcome back to the Bober Academy Football Podcast as we continue our Lineman of the Week series. My name is Chris Bober. I'm the owner and founder of the Bober Academy, where our mission is to train and develop superior linemen to dominate on the gridiron. Also, offensive line coach at Creighton Prep, run game coordinator, played in the NFL 8 years. 4 years for the Giants, 4 years for the Chiefs. And now I am out all football again, man, coaching, training, all that kind of fun stuff. Before we get started, just a reminder to everyone, if you're listening to this podcast on any of your podcast devices, make sure you subscribe to our channel. That way you get notified when we drop new episodes. If you're watching YouTube, right down there is the subscribe button and notification bell. And our handle is at Bober Academy for any of the social medias. Be sure to hit us up on there, share your videos, likes, shares, all that, retweets, all that fun stuff like that. So like I said, we are joined. It's a great honor this week to have the guys from Battle Creek, man. Battle Creek is off to an awesome start down in C2, doing a great job. They're undefeated, 5-0. So we're here to talk to them tonight. We got Coach Carlson up there. Thanks, Coach, for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Also got one of my guys, Dawson Amick. Dawson and I have been working together for a couple years. He's a guy who's going to go play college football, doing pretty amazing things out there out in Battle Creek, and I've got to work with him a bunch. It's great to see him succeeding. So, guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Okay, Coach, first question's for you, right? You guys are off to a really good start. Just, it's the kind of start you wanted. You're 5-0. You had a really big win last week versus Oakland Craig. I know Aquinas was a huge win. Tell me about this team, right? Tell me about what you got team-wise and what makes them so special this year.
Well, we're a very senior-laden team. We have 16 seniors. Of those 16, the vast majority have been playing a lot of football over the last 2 years, and then we have a group of guys like Dawson that have been playing since they were freshmen and starting even. So ton of experience. It's a very athletic class. It has good size, and they're kind of the core of our group right now. We have some underclassmen that play. We have some juniors that are stepping in now, playing more, that have done a nice job. But like I said, generally speaking, it's an older group, so they've seen a lot of action over the years, and they played in a lot of big games, and they're going out right now, and they're playing at a really high level.
Yeah, I know you've been at Battle Creek for about 20 years. Probably, I think around 13 as their head coach. What makes this team stand out to you?
Well, it's the biggest senior class I've ever had as a coach here, so that's something. And then the amount of playing experience at the varsity level this group has brought. Like I said, a group of them, 3 of them being linemen, started as freshmen, and that's just something I haven't had at this point, where a group's played this much football leading up to this. It's really fun because, like, we'll get into a game, teams come out and they'll give us some kind of scheme that we're not prepared for, and our guys are literally like, "Hey, this isn't a big deal. We'll just talk it through right there on the line of scrimmage. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they know what we're doing. If we're coming at them or not. We're going to talk about our responsibilities and pick things up and just go from there." And that's something that age and wisdom give you, and this group has a lot of that.
Absolutely. And, I always found that when you have those senior-led teams, it's so much easier to practice, right? I mean, as high school players, it's hard to get them to understand that you're going to play good in the game if you practice well. And when you have good leadership on your team, guys like Dawson down here, that makes it a lot easier on the coaches. Dawson, senior year, man, I know you've been starting since your freshman year, but tell me about this team and what it's like to be a senior leader out there and what you guys got going. It's a great start you're off to, but tell me about what it's been like so far as a senior.
It's been, I guess, kind of bittersweet. I don't know if it's really set in yet, but, we're almost 2 months into school already and things are flying by. We're past the midway point of the season. And I guess it's been fun to be selected as a captain, this year. And we've got a lot of guys on the team that are leaders. So I guess it doesn't just fall on the four captains, but, really all throughout all 4 classes, there are guys that step up and lead when we need it. And I guess that's been the best part of this year, just seeing guys step up when we need them and play to their fullest potential.
Nice. And it's fun, Coach, when these guys start to click for them. We tell them their senior year is going to go by in a snap, right? And
absolutely.
Like, oh yeah. Then they get about halfway through and they're like, "Holy cow, man, we only got so many snaps left together." So that makes it even more special. Coach, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the big game last week, right? A highly rated Oakland Craig team. You guys went back and forth. Tell me how that game went down and how you guys were able to pull off the big win.
Well, neither team could stop each other. Oakland spreads it out and throws it all over, and all game long they moved the ball on us and scored points. But we had guys in the right positions to make plays. It just came down to tipping your hat to them. They had some guys that made some really great plays between the quarterback throwing the ball and receivers catching the ball. But in the next breath with us offensively, we were able to move the ball pretty much all game long. Our guys up front did a great job. Our backs did a great job running, playing physical. We threw the ball very efficiently. And, as a casual fan, it probably was a lot of fun to watch because there was a lot of points scored. As a coach, it's a little bit stressful because you're like, geez Louise, we got to get a stop at some point. And but it was a fun game. It was a great high school atmosphere. Our kids were able to, execute a 2-minute drill at the end of the first half that got us a touchdown, that got us up 4, I believe. And then in the second half, we were able to kind of slow them down a little bit. We only limited them to 14 in the second half, so we played a little better there defensively, and offensively we were able to keep scoring. So great game, a lot of fun to be a part of. It's one of those memory games just because it was high scoring. There's a lot of action, a lot of things going on, but a good game for our program. We needed to see something like that. And, it just iron sharpens iron when you get in those tough moments, playing good teams. It gets you prepared for that hopefully that postseason run you want to make.
Nice. Dawson, I'd love to hear your perspective of kind of how it went down, right? We got a 4-quarter game, and I know you guys have outscored your opponents by quite a bit this year, so you might have been up in some games, and it's a little bit easier. But tell them what it was like out there on the field. Having to come through in the second half. Tell me about what some of the things that happened out there, and when was the point in that game when you guys kind of took over and pulled away?
And it was a lot of fun to be out there because like you said, some of those early games were not as challenging, but to go out there against a team that's really good, seeing a quarterback that's probably one of the best we're going to play all year, it makes the game a lot more fun in my opinion. And later in the game, I think we kind of took over, and at the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter. But it was a lot of fun to see a guy that could throw the ball like that, and just we had guys in position. He just would put it right over top, and got to give him respect. We knew they were going to be good, and they definitely were. So it was a lot of fun to play in that game.
Yeah, football's a funny game. You think everything's going to go your way, and you got to figure out how to win. And sounds like you guys have a very senior-led team that kind of knows how to do that. So big win to you guys. Congratulations. All right, Coach, tell me a little bit. I'm an offensive guy. We can talk about defense all day long, but I do the O-line. I help coordinate our run game and our offense here at Creighton Prep. But so I love talking offense. If you had to describe to people out there hadn't seen your team, tell me about your offense and what you guys want to accomplish out there on offense.
Well, we're primarily gap scheme. We run a ton of counter. We do it a lot of different ways. We'll use wings. We'll use centers as polars. We'll use tight ends as polars. We're very diversified in how we do things there. We try to distribute the ball within our backfield. We have 3 really good backs plus a quarterback who's a great runner. So we try to do a lot of different things where we'll run counter off of some of our outside zone stuff, and we just try to be creative, and our offensive coaches have done a great job with that this year. And then our kids obviously have executed it well. But we run a lot of counter, run power, a little bit of outside zone. But that's little ISO plays too, just downhill run. But that's pretty much it. We just do it out of a lot of different looks and try to be creative within that.
As a high school coordinator and coach, I can tell that you guys have a team with guys that played a lot, right? Because then you can put some more things in there, right? You can't just line up and run counter one way. But if you guys have guys that have been around longer, they can make those adjustments and get that little tag that creates a wrinkle that the defense might not have seen. That sometimes that's what makes those plays work, and it gives you a little diversity. So that's also probably one of the benefits of having a lot of returning starters and several year starters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It gives us a ton of flexibility, and it can be something where all week long we're practicing a certain look within how we want to run our counter game, and all of a sudden get in the game and they line up a little bit differently now. And instead of maybe your guard tackle or guard wing, all of a sudden now we're pulling a tight end and a wing. It's just changes that we can make on the fly because of the experience that we have has been critical to our success.
That's great. That's really cool to have. It makes it kind of a special team. But Dawson, tell me about this offense. What do you like about it? What are some of your favorite plays? Tell me about what you guys do out there on offense.
Just like Coach said, we pull a lot. As a tackle, that's fun to me. I love to pull, get in space and hit somebody. But I really like running the ball. I think it lets us kind of get after guys, and that's what we're really good at. So for our offense, I guess that's the main thing for me, is just being able to run the ball and run the ball well. And we've been doing that good this year. So that's really what I like about our offense. But at the same time, you know, we can drop back and throw the ball if we need to, and we've got all 5 of our guys can step up and make blocks, and that makes it fun for the quarterback, fun for the wide receivers, but also for us when we're doing our job right. So I guess, you know, our offense is it changes, but our principles stay the same. We try to keep our rules the same and really keep things basic, just to have as much fun as possible, make things as easy as possible, and so we can play fast and physical.
Nice, nice, nice. Good thing we worked on pulling a double team in all off season, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, Coach. We're talking about the O-line in a second, but tell me about, you know, you mentioned your quarterback. You got a few running backs. Tell me about some of your guys. You got the skill positions and what they're doing for.
Well, our quarterback's a 3-year starter. His name's Jackson Metler, and Jackson's been doing a great job for us. He's a good thrower of the football. He's a great runner, though. He is very fast, very shifty. He makes things happen. I mean, he averages like 8 yards a carry. He's a dynamic athlete for us. Our running back is kind of a running back by committee, and they all really do a good job of complementing each other. We have Aiden Pokup, who's a senior, and we have White Narazic, who's a senior, and Casey Schnabel, who's a junior. And those 3 guys have kind of been a 3-headed monster for us. And they're very flexible. They're guys that can catch the ball, so we can split them out as receivers, and we can all go split, then condense in and become wings, and just do a lot of different things with them formationally that it really allow our offense to be dynamic in that sense within our run game. Receivers-wise, we have MJ Rogge and Gavin Korth and Aiden Wentz are seniors, and then Connor Newhoffen's our tight end, who's a senior as well. So, like I said, a lot of seniors that have played a lot of football. Good football players, smart kids, good kids. So it's been a lot of fun this year working with them.
Nice, nice. And I love they have a tight end, right? It's kind of a lost position these days. How about you, Doss? Tell me about some of those skill guys and what they mean to you.
I mean, they're always there to make plays when we need them, and that makes it a lot of fun for us up front, because, you know, we know if we do our job, there's a good chance that things are going to go in our favor, and that makes it a lot more fun to play when you know you got a good chance to make a big play. And you know, all those guys you mentioned have done a phenomenal job this year, and I look forward to the rest of the year, because who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's nice you have so many guys. Having that many running backs just allows you to keep throwing them on the field, and they don't wear down. You just wear your opponents down. Love it. All right, Coach, tell me a little bit about this offensive line. I know we got 3 guys who have been starters since they've been freshmen, but tell me about your guys up front and what they're doing for you guys.
Well, Dawson's our left tackle. Our left guard is Gavin Olson. Our center is Dakota Zlomke. Our right guard is Breck Thompson, and our right tackle is Connor Heiderman. They're a great group of guys. They're big, athletic, physical. I mean, just what your dream is as a coach, hard-nosed football players, you know. And we have a couple other guys that rotate in Mason Planner and Hudson Last, that have stepped in and been starters for us due to injuries and whatnot, and have been really good players for us and rotate in all the time. And, you know, it just creates that really positive dynamic when you got a bunch of guys competing together that know they're going to play and have to step up. It creates sharp practices. It creates good drill work time, because guys are working hard to get better, and they have to work hard because the guy going across from them is giving them a great effort. So, you know, they're a hard-nosed group. They're a great group of kids, blue collar, love football, love playing for each other, and just real enjoyable to coach and be around.
Well, it's great. You have such a great unit. You know, you're a smaller town, right? Smaller school, and to have that many guys together, just hard-nosed guys, it kind of says a lot about your community out there. Dawson, tell me about some of your boys up front. All right. And this is the time you get to say anything that's funny. It might embarrass them too. So we'll share this for everyone. So tell me about your guys. O-line's a tight unit, right? We go out to eat together. We hang out. Tell me about some of your boys up front and how you guys are having fun.
Yeah, I think this year is pretty special for us since we have 3 guys that have started all 4 years. We've played a lot of football together and been around each other a lot. Even with that, a lot of us played together in, like Y League, 3rd and 4th grade. So we've all known each other for a long time, played together for a long time. So that makes this year, even more special being able to play with them. And I guess, we just know each other. We know what the other guy's tendencies are. It makes it a lot easier on us. And you don't have to guess what they're going to do. He's going to be there and he's going to be doing his job. So I guess that makes it a lot of fun, just knowing you have the right guys around you.
Well, give me a little bit more. I mean, like, something funny about these guys. I mean, there's so many characters on the O-line because, as offensive linemen, we don't get much credit. So we have to like kind of find ways to entertain ourselves. But there's got to be something that you want to share about your guys, a funny incident, something like that. You got anything for like that? You're too nice, man. You're too nice. I mean, I know there's got to be some funny stories.
We've got some characters. Dakota and Gavin, Garden Center for us. I mean, they're always, those 2 guys never seem like they have a bad day. I mean, they make practice a lot of fun because you never know what they're gonna say. So they're guys that are upbeat, and that makes practice a lot of fun to go to because you know those guys are going to be in a good mood and ready to practice hard. So those 2 guys are a lot of fun to be around just because their attitude. So I guess those are our funny guys. I don't know if I have any stories, maybe not anything to share.
You'll be talking about these years later about these funny stories, but all right, I guess you're going to be too nice, but that's awesome. All right, Coach, you got some big games coming up, right? You got a big game this week. I know you got a tough opponent, but then you go down the line, you got Norfolk Catholic. They're ranked #1, and you guys got a tough district. Tell me about the rest of your season and what you guys are looking forward to.
Well, we have Cedar Catholic this week, and they're a big physical team. It seems like they're really starting to kind of come into their own. They played really well against West Point Beamer last week and kind of dominated them. And they're big. They probably are actually bigger than us up front. We're really big. So that's saying something right there. But they run a real downhill run game, physical. They have good skill guys, really dynamic running back. So our hands are going to be full there. It's going to be probably the most physical game at the line of scrimmage that we've dealt with up to this point this year. So, and it's usually a really good game. We're 2 teams that really play each other a lot through youth, junior high, JV, et cetera. So we know each other well, and both sides will be really amped up for that game. I know that. Then we follow that up with West Point Beamer, and then we go to Catholic, and then we have Ponca to finish things up before playoffs. So, our district's really talented. There's a lot of great teams in it. But at the end of the day, we always kind of talk about, iron sharpens iron. If you want to compete for championships, you want to play against the best teams, you want to put yourself in those situations so you can experience, those tough times that prepare you for that playoff run. That's something that we always kind of keep in mind. And we take everything 1 week at a time. So right now our focus is entirely on Cedar, and we're ready to play them. We're excited about that.
Nice. That's the only way you can do it, right? You can't look too far ahead instead of what's right in front of you. Do you guys tell me about, like, a lot of teams will come out with like a motto for the year. Do you guys have anything like something you put on t-shirts, or do you have like just what's your mantra when you get to guys together? What is your saying that defines you guys?
Well, we don't really have anything. Like I said, we year in, year out, I've been here a long time, kind of doing the same thing over and over. And it's more about just kind of doing the Battle Creek way of things. We want to be good teammates. We want to work hard, and we're going to be accountable. Them are our things that we talk about a lot and really focus on. And that's where our standards are, I guess. And that's what we kind of live by that.
Now, you said it a couple of times, iron sharpens iron. So I'm sure you've mentioned that to those guys plenty of times. Dawson, senior year, you got 4 games left in the playoffs. Like, as you get towards the end of your high school career for football, You know, what do you, I mean, everyone wants to go win a state championship, but tell me about like what you guys want to accomplish. You know what I mean? As you get together as captains, as seniors, as teammates, what do you guys talk about wanting to achieve this year?
You know, last year we lost first round of playoffs, and that kind of left a bitter taste in everyone's mouth. So I think, you know, this year, obviously we all think and we know we have a good shot at the state championship. So that's everyone's goal. But like Coach said, just taking it 1 week at a time, because we know we've got a tough schedule ahead, and we can't look past anybody, because everyone's all the games we got left are going to be good games, and they all mean something when it comes to seeding. So I guess just taking it 1 week at a time and seeing where we end up, because we're playing some really good football right now. So that's kind of how we're taking it, just 1 week at a time and letting things play out and see where we end up.
That's awesome. That, you know, you guys sound like you guys got a great group of guys. Now, Dawson himself, you're headed to Air Force. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know, you know, Dawson, I've worked with Dawson here for a couple of years, and he's put in so much work, big, long guy. So I'm great to see him get opportunities to go. He's going to go play at the next level. And of course, I'm sure we're going to be doing some more work this offseason and get ready for college. But for now, man, you guys go out there, enjoy your season. I love just hearing about your culture. Right. It sounds like Coach and the whole community has come together, just a tough, hard-nosed, super proud of who you are, where you're from. And you guys are showing that out there every week on Friday night. So I want to wish you guys the best. Before we take off, a reminder to everyone out there who's listening to this to subscribe. Of course, subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit us up on social media if you need anything. We're going to continue to feature great programs and great people like Coach Carlson and Dawson Amick and all of his teammates. And I want to wish you guys nothing but the best of luck this week, especially, but going forward in the rest of the season. I know you guys got a great shot to bring home some hardware. So I want to see you guys get it done. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for having it on. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate you sharing. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
You too.